Top Deck Heroes.
Yeah.
We got your regular hosts, myself, Sean O'Brien, guy who seems like he's becoming a regular, Jesse Cervini, and we
I
have a
guess
trading
I
card.
am.
Oh man,
Are
I
you,
should do the laughing man thing and just have this as my face forever.
I mean, if that's what you really want. Well, let's get right into the first topic of the night. Speaking of champ cards, and the first thing I want to talk about, and I haven't told Kevin anything about this. Let's go to this cutaway real quick. So I want to talk about how all of Kevin's champ card faces are just so adorable and precious. But let's take a look at what he looks like in real life. All right, so the first picture I'm going to bring up is a picture of It Comes With a Price. Kevin's beaten and bloodied in a corner, getting handed a chicken sandwich, but his face doesn't look weird. For your viewing pleasure, let's bring up our first bad picture of Kevin. So this is a picture Kevin took today. He just received these champ cards. His hair is crazy, and his eyes are crazy, and he looks like a murdering fiend. So this is
the man's excited.
This is what Kevin looks like normally.
This is what Kevin looks like normally.
Kevin, they can't see you right now. We're doing a cutaway.
I can't see that.
They could hear us. So
I actually had to pull up the stream to find out what he's being shown right now.
Oh, I love being the producer. So let's look at another champ card of Kevin. This is Bring Your Friends. Kevin looks pretty precious and adorable here. He's got a bomb, and he's got Tim Keefe. You know, pretty normal, not weird looking face. And then we have a picture of Kevin Broberg sitting under what appears to be some sort of billboard or vinyl banner, and his mouth is gaping open. He's looking off to the left, like,
I am gawking at Jeremy Ray's penis. Actually,
okay.
That's the story behind that one.
Well then, okay. So this is if you ever show Kevin Broberg a huge penis, this is Kevin gawking at a penis. And lastly, we have Kevin. He's sitting by his fireplace, drinking a big old, bottle of water. We're gonna assume it's water. He looks pretty happy, pretty adorable. And then I found this gem from a long time ago. We had to edit some of this out. There's some sort of hand-shaped thing with one finger sticking up. But Kevin is showing, like, all of his teeth here. This is probably at Gen Con 2 years ago.
Oh, no, this is way old.
Dude, I was like, look at me, I'm like 220 pounds in that thing.
So,
ancient.
This is Blast from the Past, Kevin. So, that's enough of the...
Like, are those Ruler of Time cards on the table?
I think so.
Yeah, that must have been like the Gen Con where they were previewing Ruler of Time.
So, the question I gotta ask, and we'll come back to the main scene now. We're done with our cutaway here. Is how much imagination did these artists have to come up with all these adorable, normal-looking face Kevins? Probably quite a bit.
I don't know. I mean, it's just anime, dude. Everyone looks good in anime, right?
I mean, they did give Phil Birch the anime treatment. He doesn't look like a ugly little hipster on any of his cards, except himself. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we had a little fun at the top of the hour, but I think the big news for this week, gentlemen, is those starter decks are finally in people's hands. We were going to do a brief... Oh, go ahead, Kevin.
I was going to say, yeah, it's definitely the news of the week. We'd finally have the entire format for these PTCs that are coming up this year.
Absolutely.
We know everything that's going to be there.
Jesse, you opened your starters this week. Did you get anything good?
Oh yeah. I got another paper tax, a gyro drive smasher, bloody high claw. Like, I opened very well. I was like opening all my boxes and like flipping them over, and I'm like, I pulled them all out first, laid them down, and just flipped them over one by one. And like, when I flipped over all 8 and I wasn't disappointed, that's when it's a good day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think these are an incredible value for $18.99. You get the starter decks, which have exclusive foils that are one-ofs. So you pretty much have to buy
and
4
one
if
of
you
them
want to set.
And one of them's like insane. It's like Kokoshu is like almost a staple level card. We got to talk about that card.
So you get the 2 starter decks, you get a demo mat, you get the rule book, and you get 2 ultra rares for $18.99. I think that's pretty impressive.
You can easily beat your value on the ultra rares still.
Yeah, unless you wildly whiff, you'll be in a good spot.
That's true.
Because I think, like, what's the worst ultra rare in this set, guys? Maybe Sakura's ultra rare, maybe Goken's asset.
Goken's asset.
Probably one of the weird assets.
Yeah.
Even still, right now, they're still $8 or $9 a piece. So you get 2 of those, you're already at $18 plus what you get in the starter decks. So I think that's pretty good. And without further ado, then let's go to UFS Ultra. We brought the UFS Ultra thing here, and look at some starter deck cards. We'll start with Chunners. I think we've all seen Chunners at this point, but as a friendly reminder to everybody, she's a 720 with Air, Earth, and Life. E, your kick attack gets 1 speed, and if it deals damage, gain a vitality. E commit, discard a kick or ranged attack from your card pool. Your kick or ranged attack gets +2 speed. I feel like she's solid. She probably is going to be solid.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to play lots of kicks. She's kind of like... She reminds me a lot of King, actually, where instead of gaining a vitality for free, you get to gain a vitality every time you play a kick, but you don't get to clog up your opponent's card pool, which is a little bit of a bummer.
She's kind of a weird mix between, like, King and Felicia. It's kind of a good middle ground. Like, she doesn't have that level of Felicia, but she's definitely better than King for, like, a kick character with these symbols. That's really kind of the middle ground with her I like about it.
Yeah, I think she's pretty cool. I think that nothing's completely overwhelming about her, but like +2 speed's good value. You know, makes your opponent commit 2 more foundations to block. Clear your card pool is good value. Obviously, you have 1 less difficulty for the whole turn. 1 speed, free life gain. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she's going to be pretty solid. I don't have any really major ideas for her quite yet. I actually have more ideas for her support than for her. And speaking of her support, let's bring up her first support card here. Oh boy, this is a word. Okay, I'm gonna.
Yakuretsu Kyaku.
I think so. I was gonna try your style of pronouncing it 1 letter at a time. So we got Hayakuretsu. No, that's wrong. At any rate, this is a 5/3 2 high for 7 kick stun 2. First E, make this attack zone mid. It gets +2 speed and -2 damage, so it becomes a 4 mid for 5. And you have a different first E, you make it a low to give it +4 speed and -4 damage, so it becomes a 6 low for 3.
It's not bad. I mean,
Stun 2 is pretty. Stun 2 is 7 damage is a good look.
Yeah,
your opponent's. Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much just gonna say that if you know your opponent doesn't want to block, this is a really good way to punish them for it. And then the ability to switch up, to pick your size is pretty interesting. And that's before we get into the synergy stuff you can do with this. I'm not sure if Cammy has anything that pays you off for changing the zones, but Cammy can pick the size and then adjust to whatever zone she wants. Base can pay you off for reducing the damage. There's there's cards that return things to printed damage that mean you get to have your cake and eat it too. You get a 6 speed low for 7 at that point.
Mm-hmm. And with Chun-Li, she gains a vitality just for playing this if it deals damage, and she gets 1 speed for free. So if you play this as Chunners, you start off with a 3 high for 7 stun 2. And if you really want it to hit, you can make it faster by switching it to low zone.
If your opponent's at 3 vitality and you max this out, you get a 7 speed low that has stun 2. So if they have a 0 low block, best case scenario, and they check a 5, they still commit a grand total of 4 foundations on that exchange. And if they have a +3 low block, which is much more realistic, now it costs 7. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
deadlock.
That's an expensive exchange there. All right, moving on. We have Kikoken. Jesse, do you want to read this one?
Kikoken. Yes. Let's see here. We got a 4 difficulty. Stupid things. Stop popping up. Let's see here. 4
you
difficulty.
You gotta stay off those websites, Jesse.
No, it's the Skype pop-ups. +0 mid-block, 4 mid for 4, EX3 in range. Enhance, your kick attacks get +1 damage for the rest of the turn. If this attack has 6 speed, its speed is 6 or greater, gain 3 vitality. It's nice. I like it as a leading card. It just gains vitality. Is pretty solid too.
Yeah, I mean, with Chun-Li's ability, you get to put it to 5 speed, so you can find 1 speed elsewhere, which isn't that difficult.
Mm-hmm.
You get paid off with 3 vitality.
Well, so Chun-Li's Toppy can't pump this. She only pumps kicks for free.
Oh shit!
But then
right.
If you play another attack to lead into this and then discard it with her bottom E, boom, 3 vitality right here. And then you have characters like Hua, or I feel like someone on Life has a +2 speed effect.
Gemini Man.
Gemini Man is quite good with this card. You get that. If you can pay off that gain 3 vitality for 0 cost, this card is very good. We've seen Spider Suplex do some work at pulling people back from the brink, especially in my deck last week. This card is really nice if you can gain 3 vitality for only 4 difficulty, and then you're putting pressure on your opponent to block, or else they start losing vitality. And that EX3 means that if you can pump some damage pumps onto this, like I know Earth can for sure, and there's probably some ways to do it off of air as well. You can really make something extremely profoundly fast and be wearing all those damage pumps to finish your opponent off.
Yeah, EX3 is a big deal. It doesn't seem... I mean, I feel like on paper, EX and Powerful kind of look the same, but I think EX is much better than Powerful, because... I mean, it doesn't matter how big the attack is. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit.
Yeah.
And
which tastes better, an apple or a steak?
Well, why don't we caramelize the apples and serve them on the steak? I think we could do that with.
That's how you get Pulse Flare, Sean O'Brien.
I think we can bring our friends and do that.
Yeah, you can. 2 symbols, baby.
I mean, I know probably nobody will play this, but I kind of want to play this with Airman. Commit a Foundation, 3 speed, 3 vitality, and I still get to be fat.
Yeah, we were talking about Airman the other day, and that some new card really gave him a new lease on life, and I don't remember what it was.
Is it like all the cards that say like you're 6? Do you have to hit the 6 speed? Because there are so many of them in Chun-Li support.
I know. I thought it was on the air symbol. We were talking about like a foundation that readies itself, and it wasn't Partners in Crime Fighting, and it couldn't have been my card, right? I remember we were talking about Airman.
We were talking about Pulled My Trigger, weren't we? You commit a foundation, then you immediately blow it up.
Yeah, then you sack it. Okay, perfect. Well, Airman doesn't have Earth, which is the symbol they're shared, but you can definitely find something in here that wants to do some overlap.
Sure. All right, let's move on to our next card.
Oh, our resident cheese expert pointed out S-Class with Airman. So you pump this thing's speed up to insanity speed, you stop your opponent from reducing the speed, and then because they can't block it, your S-Class readies itself, and you have to gain your 3 vitality.
Nice.
I like it.
So next we have Kikosho. This is a 6/3 with a 3 mid block. 3 mid for 6, Fury and ranged. If your last attack this turn was blocked, this attack gets -3 difficulty and +3 speed. Add a kick attack from your card pool to your momentum. If this attack's speed is 6 or greater, ready one of your foundations. And notice, gentlemen, there's no rider that hasn't been ready this turn.
Yeah.
Not sure if that matters, but maybe it does.
This card is hype right here. That's all I gotta say about it. This card could do so much with so many random characters. I can't wait to play this. There's obviously Sasquatch being noted by Piglet in the chat. Morathi has an attack that's oh, you blocked my first attack that I put with Morathi. Guess what? I have a 6 diff that's now a 3 diff for a moment. and it's gonna just wreck your face.
Yeah, you really want to block Marathi's stuff, and Marathi really likes attacks that have a 6 on the top but aren't actually 6 difficulties. So this is really exciting for him.
Yeah, this card's gonna be super good at him.
And like Ringman.
Oh,
you blocked my lead attack? Okay, eat this. Eat my 7 mid for 9.
I mean, you get the speed there, so you get to ready one of your foundations. It seems like this card just feels like all upside if your opponent happens to block. Because even if they block on like a normal 6 difficulty, you're not playing this on a 7 afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope somebody blocks my first attack with a Team K-Dash, and instead of being like, oh no, I can't do anything, it's like, okay, I'll play this on a 6. Nice breaker, idiot.
Yeah, this card is definitely going to put people in some no-win scenarios, and conversely, I think that it might there might be situations where the right play is just to not block anything, just take it all with your face, and if you can't successfully discern that scenario, you're just going to get punished by this really hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this card puts a lot of just knowing your opponent has this card puts an interesting ultimatum, for them is, well, I got to block this move or not. I don't want them to get momentum. I don't want these bad things to happen. But then a bad thing happens.
Now, how widespread do you guys predict this card will be? If I see my opponents playing a character with these symbols, should I guess that they're more likely than not playing a Kikosho deck?
That's the Nick Brown plan for the PTC.
I mean, I would run this card in like a Satoshi deck. You lead off with a Cannonade, and your opponent is for sure going to block that. And the Cannonade's coming in with +3 speed. And they block it, and then you draw a card, and then you play this thing on a 3, and they have to block again on 6 speed?
Well, in that case, I just build I just try to, like, my approach to that deck would be just block every Cannonade and take the Kikoshos and just try to find a way to win that way. Because I think if your opponent's not getting any momentum off of this thing, you can just say, I'm taking 6 all the time.
Yep.
And I think that if you're building a deck with Kikosho in it, you have to be ready for your opponent to do that. Because this is a 6-speed attack for 3 difficulty. If you're trying to block everything, you just take those and block the things that are slower.
Yeah, but if you first form Satoshi, your candidate is much faster than this.
This is true.
So that's what I mean. They had to spend quite a few resources to block the candidate. They could be in a spot where they just have to take the 6 here.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is you take 6. From Kikosho.
I mean, doming people for 6 for free is pretty good.
Yeah.
On a 3 difficulty move. I'd still be sad that my Cannonade didn't hit, but I wouldn't be that sad if they immediately took 6 after I drew a card. And I had to, unless I checked a Cannonade, commit no foundations to pass this thing. Just my thought. Let's move on.
How about Seneshu?
Seneshu.
I'll read this one off. It's a 4 difficulty, 3 check, +2 low block attack. 4 speed high for 4 damage. Nice stats. Kick and combo kick. Its combo enhance it gets +3 damage. Nice, solid, straightforward. And it has an enhance to reduce its own damage to 0 and unflip one of your foundations.
That seems really good. The fact that there's no rider that you can't increase the damage, that's pretty unusual for an ability like that.
Yeah, neither of these are firsties. There's no restrictions on this. I think most of the time you'll be doing that reduce to 0 unflip foundation as your first enhance, because you're only taking 4 damage off, and then you can use the combo E later.
Yeah, and there's not even necessarily anything that says you have to unflip a foundation. If you just want to make this a 4 high for 7, that's completely reasonable. I could even see maybe considering running this in a Felicia deck, especially after some of your other kicks rotate out. Because in Felicia, this becomes a 7 high for 7, that if it hits, your next check gets +3. And if you really need an Ophidiophobia back, which sometimes she just does, I'm flipping Ophidiophobia.
What's really fun with this card is that if you had some kind of flip +2 damage, or if you wanted to really screw your opponent out of playing a reversal, you could flip a Journey West, unflip it, and then flip it again. I think.
I mean, Journey West does work like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it once. I did the offensive Journey West, and it was so good.
Well, isn't a flipped card the same card that was flipped?
Actually, yeah, maybe you're right.
You can't play the same ability printed on the same card more than once per enhanced step. So I'd be inclined to believe that when it flips and flips back, the card hasn't changed. It's still the same card.
Well, it's a new ability, though.
That's true.
It's an ability didn't have 30 seconds ago.
Get back to you next week.
I'm not sure this is going to matter, because I'm not sure there's any flip costs that are relevant here.
Better ask a judge.
You know what you can definitely do is you can Cage Fighter their Revoke, and then unflip their Cage Fighter, and then Cage Fighter their block. Guarantee that.
That is true.
Fun times. All right, let's move on to Spinning Bird Kick. So this is a 4/3, 3 mid for 4, plus 3 mid block. This is a charge and a kick, and it has EX2. This one, if your attack's 6 speed or higher, it gets plus 3 damages.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. You
pit for 7. Your objective plan. I like it.
So, gentlemen, with these attacks that you get paid off for increasing speed, do you think Chun-Li's going to run Air Tiki in her deck?
Yeah.
You get a bonus speed after you get a speed?
You want every little piece of bonus you can get, I think.
Chun-Li has 2 speed pumps on her face. I think Air Tiki is a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I this is a pretty good card, I think. I think Airman, like I said, loves it. The problem is I don't think Airman's going to still see any play because he is, unfortunately, very overcosted.
So I'm really not impressed with this card, to be honest. It's a mid-zone attack with a terrible block. I think if you need a charge attack, this is actually another charge for Guile. Holy crap.
Yep.
You still think this card's terrible?
That's big. I mean, actually, this might be worse than the other Earth charges he has access to. Now that I think about it, because it's real bad in him. I don't know.
You're only playing it on air, and you're on Earth, and you have almost no speed pumps on Earth naturally.
Yeah. The block is just so bad, and like the payoff isn't that big either. If you get the speed up to 6, which is not trivial even in the best case. All you get paid off for is it's a medium size attack. 7 damage isn't big.
Yeah, 7 speed is actually not that hard to block.
Yeah.
Especially in the land of Dust in the Wind, Revoke. I think there's a speed reset now. So
I think Rescue Mission drops the speed a lot.
Brings it down to 0.
Mm-hmm.
So,
this card, I'll have to see it in action in the starter deck. I think it's good in in limited in general when you don't have access cards like Templar or Prepare to Fight or Leaf Shield. Attacking is in general just a lot better, and I'm sure it does good work in here. It's probably going to be a fun card to play when your opponent doesn't have access to those speed resets. But in competitive UFS, I think that this thing is on too narrow of a course, and at the same time, it doesn't get you very far on that narrow course.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, let's
get Tenku Kyaku.
I like this card.
Jesse, why don't you read it off since you like it so much?
It's a 4 difficulty, 3 check, +2 high block, 4 high for 4, kick, combo kick. Combo enhance. Flip one of your opponent's foundations. If the stack speed is 6 or greater, your opponent discards their entire momentum.
Now this is a card I can get behind.
This card is, I think, like, if you thought the air kick control deck didn't have enough little pieces of way to control the board, it now has a target flip card.
See, that's not even what I'm most excited about on this card, honestly.
I mean, it also kicked their entire momentum really well. Really good to have, too.
Yeah, and all you got to do is get +2 speed. So, Chandler's gets to do it for free.
Yeah, compared to our last card, I just got to point out that its zones are red instead of like crappy orange. Like high block, high zone, big upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, and the combo the flipping is there's no condition on that other than the combo. So if for some reason you can't get to 6 speed, which you should be able to, targeted flipping is really good. And you didn't even have to play a Spiders and Dragons. In fact, you could have played a Spiders and Dragons before this. Flipped one of your opponent's things, get your combo back, and then flip another thing.
Ooh, so we're gonna play air, or we're gonna play Earth-based. We're gonna play Earth Chun-Li Splashing Spiders and do the Hunt for Spiders and Dragons Champion of Southtown trick, right?
Ooh.
No.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, it's real good. It's juicy. You know what's actually kind of cool about this that I just realized with Chun-Li specifically? If you play a kick and your opponent blocks it, you can Kiko show them, and then play your combo kick, like Tenku Kyaku here, and kick the Kiko show out of your card pool with Chun-Li's enhance, and then get your combo going.
Yep.
That's fun.
Yeah, I think we have to make sure not to forget that Chun-Li can kick a kick or a ranged out of her card pool and get you a +2 speed. So if you have... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, with that plus her ability, that turns on the 2 speed, sets your combo back up. Everyone is happy. Except for somebody who discarded 13 momentum. Then
except for your opponent. Yeah. I'm excited to play with these decks. I haven't got my hands on one yet. But I think it'd be fun just to play with the sealed decks and just give them a spin. They're ready to play, and it'll be fun to find the little corners like this.
All right, let's move on to... there are a lot of attacks in these things. Yoso Kyaku is a 4/3, 3 high for 3 kick. Its damage cannot be reduced by effects. And then if this attack deals damage, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 kick discarded this way to your hand.
It's cute. It's kind of a repeat attack in the fighting game that you're kind of trying to loop in some way. So I like the idea of just like boom, 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 boom. So you're just trying to hit other kicks with her.
This card seems like a lot of fun. It kind of sucks it doesn't have a block, but it basically just tells you, hey, jam this in there. In a way that I'm not about most of these other cards. I'm pretty excited to play this in Felicia because this is a kick that kind of sort of draws you a card, and so you can play this if you hit a kick with a good block. Say you can just try to hold back the defense with that and get your momentum going, start building some incremental advantage over your opponent.
Blurred Visionary remind us that it would probably be pretty good if you flipped an up smash on that. An up smash, an Evose. I mean, you're not unhappy to add either of those cards to your hand.
Tenku. Heck, if I flipped a spinning bird kick on this one, I wouldn't feel bad.
Yes, you would.
Yeah. I'd be like, man.
You'd be like, man, why did I put this card in my deck?
Why is this in my deck? But hey, free card's a free card.
Yeah, except you just drew a +3 mid block, idiot.
Well, I'm gonna play it. If they took a Yoso Kyaku, they're probably going to take a spinning bird kick.
All right, let's move on to gray cards because they're more fun. We have Devotion to Justice. It's a 0/5 with a 3 high block. Says E-flip, gain of vitality.
Look at how much fun Gil is having over on the side there. He is very happy to see us.
What is Ulrich doing on this card? Do you see him down underneath Gil?
Yeah.
God, who is that? What's that character? I can't remember what Gil's brother's name is.
Yo?
Is it?
It's Ulrich. His name is Ulrich now.
Urine. That's right. Urine or urine.
So we got ourselves a spam card here. 0 difficulty, 5 check, because Air needed more spam cards. I mean, they were really hurting for it.
This kind of reminds me of a Hero's Training, only instead of a cool block trigger, it's got a block. Or a cool check trigger. Yeah, you just put it in your deck.
Sometimes you get to play out 6 foundations.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to play out 6 foundations, Sean O'Brien.
Sometimes you do.
You're Ian? Okay, thanks.
All right, I want to read one.
All right, Kevin Broberg next is the First Lady of Fighting. This card is spicy.
Yeah, First Lady of Fighting, a.k.a. My face when someone says Chun-Li is just bad Felicia. So this is a 2/5, 2 high block foundation with no keywords. It's worth noting in a second. E-commit, your kick attack gets +2 speed. So that plays really well with all of the if your speed is X or greater stuff from before. And then Chun-Li enhance, your ranged attack gets stun 1.
In case you were wondering, why would you even run ranged attacks in Chun-Li? This is the reason right here.
Yeah.
And it's not unique. So if you have 2 or 3 or even 4 of this card out, giving all your ranged moves stun 4. Well, stun 1 4 times. It's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, sure is. And then it goes great with all the speed pumps that you're playing just because you're Chun-Li.
And it goes great with all the high attacks your opponent's running in their deck because it's got a +2 high block.
Yeah, this card is just all around really great. You know, I can definitely imagine a deck that's just going to play, 4 copies of this, a whole bunch of ranged tech, then some Nevoses. Give your Nevose +2 speed. Chun-Li, you can play that Chun-Li E even if you're not, even if it has no effect. It just lets you pass the enhance without passing the enhance. And you tap them out with the lead-ins, and then you play the Nevose and slam the door in their face.
Yep.
So I think this card alone makes Chun-Li a character to pay attention to in the competitive scene.
Yeah, her focus charges are probably pretty good.
Yeah.
For lots of reasons, her focus charges are really good. All right, next we have Interpool Agent. Jesse, this one's yours.
1 difficulty 4 check +3 mid block. E-commit. This deck gets -1 speed for each card in your opponent's card pool. This is a pretty cool card. I like the idea of it's like kind of that sense of justice feel to it. Of the more cards they've played, your opponent's played, the more beneficial this card is.
Yeah, I feel like
I think this card is outrageously good.
It's really good against the 1-turn kill type decks.
Yeah.
Though
how many times have you actually died from like a 2-hit string in UFS?
Well, back when Ryu and Flying Yamato Spear were legal, usually then. But what I want to know is, why is Chun-Li arresting that poor police girl?
You mean poison? I'm surprised Chun-Li's not being poked by something right now.
Who says she's not?
That's true.
So, yeah, -1 speed for each card in your opponent's card pool. I mean, seems better than know your objective if your opponent's played more than 2 cards this turn, because now you get plus -3, -4, -5.
Yeah, exactly. I think that if this card is know your objective, you overpaid for know your objective. Fine. If your opponent plays 3 attacks, it's now better than know your objective. If your opponent is trying to finish you off with a multiple attack, holy crap.
And there's no minimum here, so unlike a girl like any other, you can give a 2-speed attack -6 damage. That's -6 speed rather, if they have 6 cards in their card pool. There's no minimum 0 or any nonsense on here.
Yep. It's pretty good.
Pretty good. Legendary. Sorry, Jesse.
The other thing I like about it is it actually might give that. I like this card. This card is one of those cards that I think they should have maybe have been out a long time before, and I'm kind of happy it's out now. I mean, we're starting to see the bigger, like you said, you're starting to see the more aggro attack strings. So you got 5 attacks in your pool. All right, -5 speed. Let's try to block now.
Yeah, this is a really cool design. I like it.
Alrighty, now we'll move on to Legendary Legs. This is a 2/5 foundation, no block. E-commit, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Your kick gets +2 damage for each attack discarded this way.
This is a weird one.
Gentlemen, what ways are there to guarantee you have attacks on top of your deck?
On
other than
symbols?
Merciless Master.
Oh.
That's about it. You can look at the top card of your deck in a few ways. But I know that some of them on life, like from Morgan support, like Thrill of Battle comes to mind. If you have an attack, that actually reduces the number of attacks on top of your deck. Because you see an attack card there, you put it in your hand.
Yep.
I
think this card is only okay. If you hit 3 attacks, that's great. You get +6 damage.
Yeah, imagine you built a deck with 25 or 26 attacks in it, right? Like you frequently will hit 1. You will rarely miss. I could go to the math if you want, but you'll get +4 speed for just a commit cost fairly often. I'm going to go do the math.
Well, while Kevin's doing the math, I'm going to do the simple Sean math and figure if you build an attack, a normal deck, right around 20 attacks, you have a 1 in 3 chance, assuming your deck is full and you haven't checked any attacks, of hitting 1. Those odds become a lot worse to hit 2, and then they're really bad for 3. And the thing I don't like about this card is you don't reveal. So you don't get paid off when you know that you're in a good spot. I reveal 2, cool, I better use my other legendary legs.
All right, I got the math. So for 26 attacks, and I can change this for any number you want to tell me, so that's cool. So 26 attacks to hit at least 1, you have 83%. So you're only 1/6 of the time you'll whiff completely. To hit exactly 1, to get only +2 speed, you're 42%.
Well, this gives damage, doesn't it?
Sorry, what?
This gets damage, not speed.
Oh, damage. That changes things, but not that much. Okay.
It doesn't change the math, does it?
No. I mean, yeah, I can. But so if you're playing 20 attacks, now you'll whiff about 28% of the time, and you'll hit exactly 1 45% of the time. And so greater than that is 20. You only get 4 damage or more 26% of the time.
So, yeah, it's not very good.
Yeah,
your chances of getting 6 are really bad.
To play this kind of card.
Overall, I don't think I really like this card.
It's a weird, janky thing for people who like weird, janky cards, I think.
Thumbs down for me. Next card, like father, like daughter. Kevin Broberg, you want to read this one?
Yeah, sure. So this is a 2/5, 3 mid block foundation with 2 abilities. E-commit, if your attack speed is 6 or greater, seal one of your opponent's foundations. And then E-destroy, if your attack speed is 6 or greater, gain 2 vitality. So your choice of board control or life gain.
Always board control.
Always board control.
It does absolutely nothing if you can't get your speed above 6, except for tap to pass control checks. Yeah, it's okay. It's medium. I think that sacrifice gain 2 life is not to be underestimated.
I mean, it's the difference between killing somebody and not killing somebody. Sometimes.
Yeah, just make their math harder. For a long time, I thought Templar was a very mediocre card. I thought everyone was overrating it, and the 2 life gain off that card is pretty real.
The thing that's not so great about this is it has to be your attack, and your attack has to be 6 speed or greater to gain the 2. So you can't last ditch gamble yourself out of here, unless you're playing a Devos as a reversal. Then this thing's probably pretty good for you.
Yeah, I agree with chat. They're pointing out Hatred of Autumn, which can seal, has no restrictions whatsoever, except that it seals only,
Earth, death, and
3/4 of the cards in the game. Yeah. And it does. You don't have to be playing an attack. You don't have to be playing this attack. You can do it defensively on your opponent's attacks.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a little bit of speed manipulation, but it doesn't have a block. It doesn't seal everything. So if you're in the market and you've got the 6 speed, for sure this can be a good way to knock down your opponent's defenses.
Alrighty, let's move on to Off-Duty Officer. Leia looks like she's at a convention that involves the Great Wall of China and Star Wars. This is a 2/5 with a +2 high block. E-commit, if your ranged attack deals damage, your next kick attack gets +2 damage. E-flip, if your kick attack deals damage, your next attack gets -2 difficulty.
That second ability, ooh-gah.
Yeah.
That ability is amazing.
You don't even have to commit the foundation for that. It's just flipped over, so you could use it to help pass the next control check where you get -2 difficulty.
Yeah, so if your opponent ever puts you in a situation where you're sure that your attack's going to land, this is like having 3 foundations in your staging area to pass your control checks to that next attack. And you say in advance that you need it, so you have to be playing a 5 difficulty attack or something with multiple cards in your card pool. But holy moly! And on top of that, if you're in a late game scenario and your you don't need help passing control checks. You can use the other ability for damage instead. It's got that great block, too.
Seems pretty okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next we have Personal Tragedy. This is a 2/6 with a +3 mid block. E-commit, change this attack zone to low. If it's not a kick, -1 damage.
6 checks.
It's a 6 check. And -1 damage may not be that steep of a cost to make something a low.
Yeah, I think it's card has some cool plays. It plays well with Cammy's stuff, that shares, I think, just the one Assemblage's life. But, this can be, those are all kicks that get rewarded for changing their zones. So, boom, there you go. Extra 1 speed, 1 damage out of that with no penalty. I think that you can use it on defense if you're playing. I know the life symbol feels to me like has a lot more low blocks than it does high blocks, broadly speaking. So this is a nice way just to, make it so that you're going to be full blocking some things you otherwise wouldn't be. And in a pinch, you can be -1 damage stuff.
Yeah, when I first read it, I didn't even consider the fact that I could use it defensively. I was just focused in on offense. Seems pretty good.
Yeah, it's not super powerful, but it's got some flexibility and it's got that hot 6 check. So you never really appreciate 6 checks until you just build a deck that has incidentally 15 6 checks, and your opponent just gets pissed off when you 6 check their blocks.
Yeah, I've never known anybody get pissed off when somebody checks a 6.
Nobody.
Kevin Broberg, tell us about the strongest woman in the world.
Strongest woman in the world. This is another reason to play Chun-Li on this card. It's 2/5 foundation, 2 mid block. E-commit, your kick attack gets +2 damage. Hey, that's the opposite of that other one from before, First Lady of Fighting. But now, just like the last one, it's got a Chun-Li restricted enhance, whose cost is E-commit and flip. If your kick attack's speed is 6 or greater, +4 damage.
Boom.
Your
Devos is really big.
That Devos is gonna hurt.
Yeah,
why is Devos illegal?
+4 damage is it's a serious pump. Put it that way. This thing can finish the game off.
Yeah, this is a finisher, and you can unflip and kick again. Well, use it again if we've determined these are 2 different abilities.
Well, it's very challenging to use this twice on 1 attack, because it does commit itself and flip.
Well, Kevin Broberg, you could have had that condition where you get to also ready. Yeah, you've just played 2 different attacks.
Yeah, but now, yeah, you definitely go. We're gonna play. Let's scroll up and look at the name. Seneshu. Well, I guess if you have 2 Seneshus, right, you can be like, on the first one, we're gonna flip this for +4, and then combo weave for 3 more, and then do some speed and stuff, and get you that way. And the second one, we say actually unflip this First Lady of Fighting, then Kiko show, then play another kick, and okay, this is horrible.
Yeah, this is bad. Let's get away from this card.
Let's just say when you +4, you win the game, so it doesn't matter what it costed. How about that?
Alrighty, to avenge a loved one. Jesse, you get this one.
All right. This is the foil foundation of the deck. 2/4, unique, no block, E-remove. If the speed or damage of your opponent's attack is above 6, reduce the damage to 0.
Nice flying spear.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card is, when a card says reduce to 0, I think you kind of have to sit up and pay attention, because that is a very potent defensive ability. It is tough to let your opponent just effectively fully block your attack, just for the cost of removing a foundation from their staging area. It is a 3 diff, it does have no block, it's got a 4 check, unique keyword. So you don't have to, I think it's hard to justify, if I build a deck with 4 of these or something, I'd kind of be ridiculous. But this is a potent effect in your opponent's staging area.
It's a potent effect off of Earth against base, because if his attack is at 14 or 15 damage, putting it down to 0 and then he gets to make it 3 again, or 2 again, or whatever he does with it, that seems like a pretty good payoff. I'd rather take 3 than 14.
Yeah.
And this isn't a first E. So if things start going really, really bad during your opponent's enhanced stop, unlike Out of Control Giant, you can use this later on as an escape clause.
This is one of those cards that I kind of wish instead of reduce, it said set its damage to 0. Like, let's get this card. Let's take a card that is just take it out of the reduce pile, and let's just be like this. You just change it to 0, no reduction, no nothing. It is set to 0. That's what I wish this card had, but it's still good. I mean, I'm not gonna. I would if I'm gonna play this card, it's gonna do work for me. That's all I gotta hope.
All right, let's move on. United Against Terrorism. And one thing I don't like is terrorism, and let me tell you why. I hate taking off my shoes at the airport. So thank goodness for Chunners, Guile, and Cammy. This is a 2/5 foundation with a 3 low block. It says, R flip, after a card leaves your card pool due to an effect, ready a foundation that has not been ready this combat phase. Kevin Broberg, you seem to have a question for the class.
So, how are you united against terrorism when you have this responsibility that's like, hey, Guile and Chun-Li, when you do your normal thing, we're going to pay you off for it?
Because they work together to fight the terrorists.
But, like, wouldn't the terrorism be a card leaving your card pool due to an effect? Isn't that kind of the story here?
No, because you're taking terrorists off the board. Well, I've already got rid of M. Bison. He's out of here. Get rid of him.
So like it's like when Guile like puts a clear cutter back in his staging area, he's like taking a terrorist out of his card pool and putting it in his staging area.
Sure.
That's just what's bothering me about this. Like there's like, like Sinister Malevolence is more like United Against Terrorism. That card that says if you add something to their staging area, you get to snipe it.
So the chat is saying this works with Assassination Attempt. Now, discarding Assassination Attempt, is that a cost or an effect?
No, it's because it says after a card leaves.
It
doesn't matter cost.
Due to an effect.
Yeah, so I would say that this does not work with Assassination Attempt because Assassination Attempt leaves your card pool due to a cost, even though it is able to leave the card pool due to as a cost because of a rule effect.
Oof.
Yay!
Like you're actually paying the cost. Like you're actually just leaving the card pool because you're paying a cost.
Do you know what card this does work with though? The Hunt for Spiders and Dragons.
Yep. Also Guile, Cammy, or not quite Cammy, but Gyro Drive Smasher, Proxless, Proto Man. This card's gonna be a staple. Like you need 4 of this card. Period.
Yeah.
Repaying a debt.
Just like, I'm gonna get rid of something for free. Ready it again. Let's go.
I mean, this also works with Sagat. He discards 2 cards from his card pool off of air. So if you got 2 of these, you could ready up 2 of your foundations. Seems pretty good.
Yeah, why? How is Sagat using the same tools as Chun-Li? That's not anti-terrorism.
Well, remember,
that's
Kevin, when you're a bad guy, if you're justified.
They're all terrorists.
Maybe Sagat thinks that Chun-Li, Cammy, and Guile are terrorists against the Shadowloo Empire.
So Ryu is a 6-hand size 27 vitality character with the all chaos and good symbols. Did we mention, by the way, that all the cards we just talked about had air, earth, and life across the board?
I think we did.
Okay, cool. I missed that. So anyway, for Ryu, your symbols of choice are going to be all chaos and good. And his abilities, he's got 2 abilities. Free enhance, if your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. And if it's blocked, your next check gets +1. And then R once per turn, after you completely block something, you get to draw a card.
Yep.
So what do you guys think about Ryu?
I feel like he's a solid 6-hander. I mean, I'm not against playing a character that says +1/+1. Turns out that's what Dave Wagner is, and people love him.
Yeah, I think he's kind of got a little bit of that the Goro gene in him, where you kind of don't want to block him too much because he starts running wild on you with fatter attacks later in the string.
I want to play him with Explosion. Just play Explosion, go deep, and then be like, okay, now you blocked like 3 of these, so I'm gonna add some block. I'm gonna try to play another attack after the end. So you're only gonna play explosion for like 4 or 5 with them.
Well, then I'm gonna enhance with Pharaoh Man and make you burn your check. How lucky you passed!
Damage bonus.
Correct.
Correct.
Oh man. All right, let's get away from Ryu. Let's talk about some of his cool cards. The first one is Collarbone Breaker. See, when I first looked at this card, I thought those little brown bits they were like Akuma's teeth, and I'm like, man, he must have hit him pretty hard, but they are definitely not teeth. This is a 4/3 with a +3 mid block, 3 high for 5, Breaker 2 Punch Combo EX. Combo E. If this attack is completely blocked, it still deals 2 during the damage step.
2.
Deals 2.
It's not even like it's half rounded down. It's so weird.
Hey, I can live with it. It's just kind of 2.
2.
2.
Yeah.
It's got Breaker 2.
I'd have to look at how whenever you have a combo on a new keyword, I haven't developed an encyclopedic knowledge of the EXs in the game, and I'm sure it's on lots of weird stuff. But 4 difficulty, 5 damage off mid, not bad card. If you're building, I know there's certainly some Valiant Assaults out there that love a new solid punch.
Yeah.
Well, you get dash uppercut, lightning cannonball, vertical rolling kick, flash kick. There's a shitload of EXs here. Devil Reverse, Psycho Crusher, Ryu's Hadoken, Ryu's Shinku Hadoken, Ryu's Shoryuken, Ryu's Tatsumaki, Sakura Otoshi, Sakura's Hadoken, and that's just in Street Fighter. Those are all EXs you can combo off of this. You go back, you get Dragon's Claw and Pulse Flare, so 14 hits on those 3 symbols total. Glad I could help.
Yep.
Yeah, solid card. I definitely think that I want to complain about the 3 mid block, and even with Breaker 2, 3 mid block Breaker 2, it's fine. I've seen Copy do some okay work, but there's a card in Ryo's support that upgrades this block a lot in my book.
Mm-hmm.
But we can get to that when we get to that.
Yep. Well, now we have Judan Sokutogiri. I didn't do so well on that one. 2 mid, 4 mid for 4, kick, stun 1. Destroy a foundation, this tech hits +2 damage.
5 mid for 7 with Ryu, with stun 1. It's not bad. Like, I think the one thing you got to think about Ryu's support, like, if somebody is saying, like, oh, his support's kind of weak, I'm like, well, you got to understand, this is, you're taking it from the objective of you're playing Ryu stuff with Ryu. There's a lot of value there with his cards.
But I want to play this card in Ken.
Yeah, there's some rare cards. Yeah, there's true. There's cards that also, like, they go well in Ken.
Like, I just see 4 difficulty printed 6 damage, more or less.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me sit up and take notice.
Mm-hmm. All right, next we have Ryu's Hadoken. Actually, somebody else read this one. I'm bored of reading.
I got it.
Yeah, sure.
All right. 4/3, +0 mid, 3 mid for 4, EX2 in range. Enhance, your next attack gets +1 speed. Enhance, if the attack is blocked, your opponent commits 1 foundation. It's very straightforward, but also it's just, you're just trying to push damage. Like, I think it's a nice lead card.
I mean, you got to figure with Ryu, it's a 5 mid for 5.
Yep.
I'm sorry, no, it's a 4 mid for 4. It's your next attack, it's 1 speed.
It's a 4 mid for 5. That's 4 mid for 5. As it also, you got to think, you're also getting a +0 mid.
I mean, think about playing Street Fighter. Like, you lead off with Ryu's Hadoken, and if everyone takes it, you're kind of like, if everyone fails to block or avoid it, you're just like, what an idiot. Then you hang back and enjoy your free damage.
My boss got a Street Fighter arcade cabinet, guys.
Ooh.
And he's so cheap, I couldn't play actual moves and stuff on it because he has Street Fighter 2. I just had to resort to playing E Honda and using the 100 sumo slap technique, and he just tried to spend the whole time shooting Hadokens at me.
I will have to teach you how to get around Hadokens. They're really easy.
Kind of jumped over them because he was bad at it, and then 100 Sumo slapped him into the corner.
That's old. That's Street Fighter 2 for you. It's not even Turbo Edition, is it? It's
No,
just Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2.
Oh.
All right, moving on. We have Ryushinku Hadouken.
Yep.
All right, I got this one.
This is the foil, right?
Yes.
Please tell me it's the foil because it's so pretty.
Yeah. All right, this card has no block. It's a 5 difficulty 3 check, 4 speed mid for 5, and it's got some hot keywords: EX2, Powerful 2, and Ranged. So you can dump all your meters into it to add up the speed or damage however you want. And then it's got Ryu Enhance. It gets +1 to its powerful rating. And then a free ability: if you've played at least 2 other attacks this turn, add 2 cards from your hand to your momentum.
I like it.
Seems good.
Yeah, so this reminds me of Pulse Player, right? Where, instead, it's a little bit smaller, but it can be Powerful 3. And you have both EX2 and Powerful 2, and you get some free resources to spend into those to try to make it unblockable speed, or fast enough to be hard to block anyway, and then one-shot your opponent from whatever they're at.
Doesn't roll a block though. Wish you had a block.
Hey, your finishers
Not
don't always
everything needs
deserve
a block, Sean.
Everything needs a block. Why would you run cards in your deck without blocks on them?
When they're good.
That card's not good enough.
Sean, would you play Kapoken Training?
Well, no, because actually, yes, because I won't get disqualified.
Back in the day, are you a Kapoken Training main decker or a guy who would sideboard it?
Well, Kapoken Training is a block if your opponent's playing multiple. All right, moving on to Ryu Shoryuken. This is a 5/3 +3 high block, 2 high for 5. EX2 punch and reversal. If this attack is blocked, add 1 foundation you could normally play from your hand to your staging area.
I had this backwards. I thought it was if it dealt. Huh.
No, if it's blocked. Kevin Roberg, does that change your evaluation of this card?
I just don't know now. Like, this is hard to evaluate in a vacuum, right? Like, it's kind of like you kind of don't want to block it. You kind of just want to eat 6 from it whenever it gets played, right?
Yeah, because they could be adding any card from their hand to their staging area that they could normally play.
I guess if you reverse with it and they block, and you have a foundation, do you even drop it? Because then you'd be throwing away your probably your last block, right?
I mean, unless you have a no block foundation in your hand, like Kapoken Training.
Yeah. Yeah, but on the other hand, if they do block, that means they're gonna have a hard time continuing their attack string. It's weird. I don't know what to do with this one. EX2 but tiny speed? Like, what's that mean?
Dun, dun, dun. This is not a reversal. I don't like it as a reversal. Tatsumaki. 5/3, 3 high for 5. EX2 again. Kick and multiple 1. If you've played this attack's EX ability, draw a card and add a card from your hand to your momentum. Get fast and then get more copies.
Get fast, then get furious-ish. Yeah, I really like that ability. Like, this basically, if you have a momentum, it's free to use that EX ability at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first time is free. It's actually like cheaper than free because you get to draw a card and then take the worst card in your hand, stick in your momentum, and possibly trigger some other stuff to go on. Nifty, and then you can throw away that multiple. You can do whatever you want with it.
Getting momentum is good. Getting more cards in your hand is good. I mean, that lets you cycle a card to your momentum if you've played EX. But just remember, you can't play EX and discard 0 momentum. I don't think that's legal. It sure isn't legal with powerful.
Yeah, EX is like powerful. You must pay at least 1 momentum to that cost. Wasn't always like that.
No, it wasn't.
But it is now.
It was.
They got sick of me saying powerful 0. So.
Well, there was also some stupid things that could be done with it if they allowed it still.
Yeah, I think the big one is that they made cards like Raptors stuff that's like after you play a powerful ability, add some damage, and it's like you should really have to spend momentum for this.
Yeah.
All right, now we have shoulder throw.
I got it. 4/3, 3+ low block, 2 mid for 4, stun 1 throw. Enhance your next attack gets EX2 or +1 to its EX rating. Once again, another strong lead card.
Yeah.
I mean, a throw on those symbols with stun, not bad.
Yeah, I wanted to say my first reaction was, hey, we see a pretty this is a pretty solid throw. You know, it's not a stunner or anything. It's not amazing, but it does some solid work. And then I remembered Gabrik's throws, like the stunner, and man, it's not like they stopped making good throws. It's just they only made them for Gabrik.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pulse flare lead. Yeah, I kind of go with you on that, Piglet. Pulse flare lead all day.
So with one thing I really like about the cards in this set, makes me feel like I'm playing old school UFS again. Just looking at the art, you know, there's no watermark in the text box, and we got Street Fighter characters back again. You know, it feels like we're back in our heyday.
Yep.
Hopefully, we're getting ready for our new heyday.
The art looks really good in this set.
Well, yeah, all of the art for the starters was done by one artist, except for the Capcom official arts, and this was done by Jason Cardy. And all the starter deck art is very solid to really, really good. So, really happy with the art. Let's get into gray cards. I love gray cards. I'm always looking for great gray cards with the all symbol.
How do you like adopted by a sensei?
What, the two?
You take it. You take it.
2/5, 2 low block. E-commit flip. If the speed of your opponent's attack is above printed, your next check gets +3. I don't know. I mean, getting +3 to your block is kind of like giving it -3 speed, right?
It's kind of like it means the same thing, but it isn't the same thing because like Airman exists.
Yeah. I'm not terribly impressed with it. I mean, because you're really not getting +3 because you're getting +2 because you had to flip this card in addition to, commit this card in addition to flipping it.
Well, yeah, like it commits fee worth 3 to pass your block.
Right.
It's all right.
Piglet's happy it's a chaos low block at +2.
That is true.
I mean, I don't need more. I need spiders and dragons in my chaos decks, and that's it. I'll just play 4. I don't care.
Shut up, Kevin.
All right. And here's the real reason why I can get away with just 4 is Brothers in Arts. A 3/5 +2 mid block unique foundation with 2 abilities. I'm gonna read the lame one first. R-commit. After your opponent adds 2 or more cards to their hand due to their effect, draw 2 cards. That's fine. That's solid. Now, E, discard 1 momentum. Change the attack zone to mid, playable while committed. You don't need no low blocks.
You only need mids. You only need Templar.
Yup.
I mean, getting to draw 2 cards after your opponent, let's say, responds with a Templar, that seems pretty good. It's about the same price as an admissions fees. That's a 3 difficulty foundation, right?
2/5.
It's a 2/5.
2/5.
Both are unique.
I think this is a really good card. I love it.
Yeah, this card's amazing. You just need a momentum source, and I know chat was talking about Cutman a minute ago. This card in Cutman, so good, so good.
Discard momentum, gain a foundation, make your attack make
it a
your
mid,
attack easy to block.
Fully block with Spragueo, reversal, ruin their soul, just crush their body. Oh, baby.
Ruin their lives.
All right, next we have Destiny's Path. We get a nice shot of Rose there, I believe that is. It's a 2/5 with a +3 mid block. E, commit, look at the top card of your deck. And E, discard a momentum. Ready this foundation. Playable while committed. So if you've got momentum to spend and you want to know what you're about to check, this is your gal.
Yep.
Yeah, I really love these discard momentum ready the foundation ability cards. I think they're really nice to have. It's cool to convert one resource into another at the right times, and then kind of playing with the value of information is really neat too.
Kevin Broberg, would you rather run Destiny's Path or Racing Rivals?
I can't answer that in a vacuum.
In your all deck.
What all deck?
I'll give an answer.
How many high blocks do I have?
Enough.
Yeah, that actually really is a good question.
How many other spams do I have? How good are my spams? Am I worried about discard? How much stuff do I have to carry at the top of my deck?
Fine, you guys are no fun.
I think in general I would probably play Racing Rivals. I think that if I'm just looking to spend momentum on stuff, just for a dump. But I think a lot of time I play neither.
Fair enough. All right, we've got Fallen Master. This is another 6-check, a 1/6 with a +2 high block. Man, all gets all the best low high block 6-check foundations this set.
You mean also, chaos and good? Any other more great 6-checks with blocks?
E-commit, this attack gets -1 speed and -1 damages.
Boop.
It's a solid spam. It's a 1/6 with a speed and damage reduction ability and a 2 high block. This card, I think, checks a lot of boxes for what you want on a spam foundation.
Yep.
Now, if you guys could rate this card a scale of 1 to 10, how good is this card?
7.
6.
All right.
Like, when I want to play a deck where I want to play a lot, I want to play just 6-checks and a 6-check spams and a plan. I like this card a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go all in on 6-checks on, let's say on all for shits and giggles, and you've got this, and you've got Well-Earned Relaxation, you've got Hizoku Prince, and you've got Hanya. Egotistical. I mean, you're in 6-check city.
Yeah.
But now you're compromising for those 6-checks, right?
Yeah, you're losing quality of abilities on your foundations. But if you just want to play, if you want to try to play 6 cards on your opening turn like a madman.
Oh, you want to try attack with a good attack on turn 1? I like this plan.
Now, Piglet in the chat says this is only a 3, and that man's been on cardboard more recently than you. So, that's a big delta right there. To go from a 6 and a 7 to a 3.
Well, I wonder. It's really hard to say what a card is on a scale of 1 to 10, because my scale of 1 to 10 has cards that go above 10.
Yeah, like because realized that when you said 6 and 7, it's like, well, I don't really know what the units of the scale are. I don't know any normal fixed points on here. So
like Scorchwheel, despite being banned, is still a 13. So when the scale can go above 10, I don't think 6 is that unreasonable. I mean,
where would you put Champion of Muay Thai?
That's an 8.
How about, what would be an example of a 4?
A 4?
4.
Inner Voices.
Schecter. Nah, Schecter's a 2. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, this is probably an interesting project for another day.
I mean,
define our
one place where I'm excited to see this card.
T-Hawk. T-Hawk is a 4.
I want this in Dr. Cossack because he can double up on that 6-check. He can search for if he has a Dauntless Hero or another card draw effect in play, he can put this on top and draw his +2 high block, and he can also just use this defensive ability twice per turn.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, this card's fine. It's not at the end of the world, like, oh my god, I gotta have 4 Fallen Masters in every all chaos or good deck. But if you are lacking high blocks or you want to have some good checks, I think this fills a good spot for you.
Yep.
Forbidden Anetsuken. This is a 2/5 with a 3 high block. Your turn commit. Your attack gets +2 speed and +2 damages.
Or.
Well, this card's assessment just went way down. I thought it was an and. This card went from like a 9 to a 4.
I think if you've been playing UFS for a while, you know exactly how this card works, what it does, and when you'll want to use it. You know, it's a fine effect to have.
Yeah, I mean, 2 and 2 isn't bad. If you got nothing better to use that spot on, because it is a 2/5. Yeah. And I think you could find better cards that are 2 difficulty to run than your turn 2 and 2.
Yeah, well, like if your opponent's at, if you're gonna like beat them up and tap their board down, and then tack on 2 damage to your last move, and that can easily be the deciding factor, or conversely, the 2 speed can be the deciding factor. So it's nice to leave the flexibility if you're just gonna try to outbuild your opponent or throw your staging arrow at them.
Yep.
All right, moving on, we have Look the Devil in the Eye. I think they're about to kiss.
Oh yeah, tell me more, Sean O'Brien.
All right, this is a 2/4 no block. Destroy. Your next check to play an attack gets +2. Playable while committed.
Eh.
I mean, I told you that the Great Wall card, off-duty officer. I said that was exciting. It's exciting the same way, only much more flexible. Like honestly, much better. As long as you're actually going to be able to commit to winning the game this turn. So you play your first attack on a 5 difficulty. Say, you check a 3, whatever. You tap this and something else. You play your second attack, check another 3. Oh, how unlucky! Well, you tap some more stuff, and then you crack this. Say my next check to play in deck gets +2. You play your third attack on a 7 difficulty. So you check a 5. The +2 means you paid nothing. You check a natural 3. Well, you tap your last 2 foundations and still pass. This is this lets you just throw away your board to do things that are supposed to be completely impossible. If you're checking really good, this lets you check out of the world good, play whatever completely ridiculous attack strings, despite your opponent's Hanyas, despite them playing Vega and using Prepare to Fight and putting Final Betrayal into their card pool. Despite all that, you can still pass your control checks. And this kind of thing, you have to sit up and pay attention to this.
It's a lot of forecheck.
It is a whole lot of forecheck. But hey, it gives you +2. So like if you check this, it's like you checked a 6.
Reluctant Icon.
I like this card.
Why don't you read it for us, Jesse?
All right then. 2/5 +3 mid. After you block with this card, add it to your staging area committed. Always the thing I like with my cards. Destroy. Choose one of your opponent's choose one card in your opponent's card pool. For the rest of the combat phase, it cannot leave their card pool. Playable while committed.
Yes, this is a callback to the old card orders from Hydern. Only, as I think some of the Calgary guys were saying, this is the deluxe edition, the Player of the Year edition, or not the Player of the Year, the Game of the Year edition. Yep. So it's been upgraded in that you can choose any card, not specifically the attack that is currently resolving. I'm not sure to what extent that entirely matters, but it's a little bit better.
Say they Destined Warrior, a Skull Barrier into the card pool.
Hey, all right, yeah. And obviously we've got some new resource symbols on this, and the after you block with that condition, I think is really interesting. It's a little bit.
It's like Shanghai Guard of War.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit tricky to justify this just in a deck completely in the dark. If it's not doing much, if it's not knocking out any of your opponent's cards, it's really not a terribly good card, but that can be a very, very potent effect.
I mean, it might be a card you put in your side deck. I mean, if you come across somebody trying to play Tengu Dive still, they E with Tengu Dive and you don't have a high block, well, can't leave your card pool. No momentum for you.
The art gives you a super weird vibe. Well so Sakura's like the Ryu fangirl. I mean, she she chases him around more or less. She follows him like a sad puppy at times.
Well, my question is, did Ryu watch her change into that outfit? Is that like the special robe Ryu gives to his lady friends?
Yeah. I mean, this is if this was I was like, I go by the Udon references of the storyline more than anything, and she definitely had an outfit that was like Ryu's, but most of the time she still just likes fighting her schoolgirl outfit.
Maybe she's going to a cosplay convention.
Yeah, maybe she is. Maybe she is. She's legal in Japan.
Let's talk about Satsui no Hado.
Yeah, this chat's taking a bad track.
We've got a
We're going
2/5
+3
high block foundation. E-commit, if your non-throw attack deals damage, you get to add one card from your hand to your momentum, and your opponent discards one momentum. So this is like I've like seen cards like this a lot of times that I just read backwards one way or another. So this is, you get to power up and then you get to rip your opponent's momentum apart, but you have to take the card from your hand to your momentum. So,
Judge,
I have a question.
Yeah.
All right. So I have this card. I activate this enhance as a floating effect, but
Yep.
I also have an on-hit effect that has a cost of discarding a momentum. Do I have the ability to add the momentum first from the attack dealing damage, and then discarding the momentum to an on-hit effect?
So, for example, our discard one momentum after your attack deals damage?
Yes.
Yes, you absolutely do.
Okay, that's all that matters to me.
Well, yeah, that's it.
That's exactly the question we're asking.
Just curious.
I was pretty sure the window was there, but
It's kinda
you never
rough.
know with this game.
It's kind of rough if if all the cards in your hand are good, but you're worried about your opponent's momentum.
It's more that I'm worried about gaining a momentum that I need immediately, my opponent doesn't expect.
Yeah, and I think that it's also interesting just to kind of, I'm really excited about this card just for the bluffing factor, where if I play an attack I want my opponent to block, I can commit this, and they'll be like, I'm going to blow a Leaf Shield on your shitty throw, and then be like, haha, here's my Mexican Typhoon that I'm playing off simple. Get out.
All right, let's move on to Wanted Man. This is a 1/4 with a +3 mid block. All these guys swiped right for Ryu. E-flip, your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage, and if it's blocked, your next check gets +1. So it's like E-flip, you get a bonus Ryu.
Yep.
That's cool. I like it.
I think it's just solid. I think we've already talked about Ryu's ability, so that's that.
Yep.
And last,
my favorite card of Ryu's stuff. I like this one.
Way of a True Warrior. Jesse, read this off for us. Take us home.
2/5, no block, respond, commit, flip. After your opponent plays an attack, it loses one keyword of your choice for the rest of the turn. I like
safe?
being able to. I like get rid of safe, get rid of throw, get rid of combo. I like Kopo. Now it's Kopo. Still.
Ish.
I think if you put this response on Kopo instead of Kopo's response, but kept the rest of the card the same, I'd actually prefer Kopo at that point. I think having the +2 speed is better than having a 5 check. But yeah, it's a cool card. It's a good card. I'm happy. I'll be happy to play it.
Yeah. It's good. I can't wait to put just like, that doesn't kill me now. Sorry.
Now, this card I would not put in my side deck. That's a main deck card right there. Before Piglet calls me out again. I like it better than the other one we talked about.
Mm.
All right, so that wraps up our set review. We're actually running a little over tonight.
Nice.
Let's talk about some upcoming events.
Upcoming events.
2 weeks from Saturday is the Calgary Stampede PTC up in Montana somewhere at Eastridge Hobbies. And then the premier event for that weekend, the event where we'll have more stars than there are in the sky, the Rochester PTC, July 15th to 16th at Millennium Games and Hobbies. I hear that my boy Piglet's going to be there. I hear that my boy Kevin Broberg's going to be there. Jesse will probably be there. That'd be weird if he didn't show up.
I would have to be, if I didn't show up, I would hope you would call me and ask me where I am, because there's a problem.
Now, we have a great weekend planned. So Friday night, we have our tournament, our weekly tournament, 3 rounds. The winner of the tournament is going to get free entry into the PTC the next day. So $10 entry and free tournament and a chance to get into the tournament for free. I think that's pretty good. After that, we're going to head over to Steve T's for a garbage plate, because we want our tummies to talk to us all night.
Yep.
And then the following morning, we have an early bird breakfast for those of you who want to head over to Schmeg's, where they have the Waffle Populus. Kevin Broberg, tell everybody about the Waffle Populus.
So the Waffle Populus is a sandwich made of waffles.
Belgian waffles.
Belgian waffles with a bacon cooked inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
Triple decker. So you got a waffle. You have your choice of sausage, ham steaks, or shaved steaks. Drenched in cheese, melted cheese. Another waffle, another thick layer of meat and cheese, and finally the third waffle all on top. You can get the... I believe on weekends they actually only serve the half Waffleopolis, and eating 1/4 of the Waffleopolis, just one slice of the waffle, 1/4, is more food than you actually need to eat for breakfast. Eating the entire half is a solid power lifter breakfast, and it's incredible.
I won't lie. I ordered the. I've been to Schmeg's a little bit too much lately, actually, because I just kind of like
no such thing.
Yeah, and the first time I was there, I did the the more or less the breakfast sub, like the full they call it like the breakfast hoagie, and they were surprised that I completed it. They were like, "You ate all that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was delicious."
Hold on one second. I'm going to bring up the menu while you guys are talking.
And then they also have the gigantic pancake of Doom that like
the pancake that's like this big.
Yeah,
it's different
and
every day.
Weekend it's a different flavor. They have a base flavor, and then they usually have like a specialty one for the weekend. But yeah, they have. I love the special menu is always great because they always have something really cool like breakfast mac and cheese.
Ooh.
I had a little while ago. That was amazing.
So I just brought up the Schmeg's menu just to show you how reasonably priced these things are.
Oh yeah,
super cheap.
So your Waffle Populus, a full Waffle Populus, so that's 3 waffles and like a pound of meat is just $11.
Yep.
Just $11.
It's $11. I thought it was like $11 for the half.
$10.99 for the regular Waffle Populus.
Wow. And does it say it's only not on weekends?
No, I think this is an older menu, so maybe it's a little more.
Their French toast is amazing. Everything's they make all their toast is made of bread they cook on site.
Their bread is outrageous, but let me just shout out to the what's it called? The French toast. It's like on the crap. It's
the
like
frosted toast, the Frosted Flakes French toast.
Yeah, the Frosted Flakes crusted French toast. Oh my god.
That became a it's a.
Are you referring to Lux right now? Oh no, I thought you were talking about the chat. People are wondering if Lux is still here.
Yeah, it is. It's yeah.
Piglet,
sorry, Piglet.
We cannot go on Sundays. They're closed Sundays. They're like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
But remember, you could get a tour bus special if you're really hungry. 4 eggs, 3 meats, 2 toasts, potatoes, plus a waffle for $10.
Yeah.
No, and also it's not because he doesn't like church. It's because he actually needed another day off of the week. Monday was not enough.
I know.
They are so busy. It doesn't matter weekday or weekend. They are crowded every day of the week most of the time. They're always busy.
So that is Schmeg's. That is our early bird special Saturday morning at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
We have the tournament. Starts at we'll be getting there at 10 o'clock to set up.
Shane Duckworth will be there.
Shane Duckworth will not be there.
What? He changed his mind?
So our PTC is the same weekend as EVO.
And they're going to be promoting at EVO because they promoted at CEO as well.
Yeah, I think that's a better use of Shane's time than flying
I
into
actually
Rochester.
agree with that. I actually will agree with that. That sucks. I wanted to see Shane.
#sad. So after the Swiss rounds, we will not be doing any single elimination Saturday night. We're going to do our Swiss rounds, and then at 9 o'clock we're going to head over to the Distillery, a favorite drinking hole of mine.
Jesse, Sean, are you really expecting, like, we got done with Swiss last year at like 5 o'clock. Didn't we play top 4, at least the first round of Top Cuts last year?
I wasn't planning on it, but maybe if we get super ahead of schedule, maybe we'll change our minds. The plan right now, though, is because we are going to have a break. I don't think we had a break last year. I think we played through.
Yeah, that's true. We're actually oh my God, Sean O'Brien's giving us a break.
Yeah.
Who is this man?
So, I mean, yeah. So at 9 o'clock we're gonna head over to the Distillery, which is one of my favorite watering holes here, for our big UFS dinner. Everyone's invited. We're gonna have a great time there, and then Sunday we come back for elimination.
And then this time we do not have breakfast plans on Sunday, but you can figure that out, obviously.
And Kevin and Giggles will be in the finals. Kevin will yell "easy money," and Giggles will win again.
Easy money! I have never won a match after saying that. I said it like 5 times.
Or you'll lose to like something. You won't lose to Giggles, but you'll lose to like the most random pile plan. Like
to Honda.
Lose to E-Honda. Lose to T-Hawk.
You'll lose to a person from Amsterdam.
Ooh. Do you hear that?
I'll go that south.
Dang. And on that bombshell, we're going to call the night, but not before showing you one more time Kevin Broberg's face from Gen Con. Woo! Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Wait, is Piglet calling himself the top roster CCG player?
He might be.
I think so.
That kid even top?